Interesting. Our next guest is focused on financial inclusion as a pathway for economic freedom. He's helped build the first Bitcoin city in Slovenia, and he's on a mission to bring Bitcoin payments around the world globally using NAKA, the world's first EMV-compatible payment card that works with a non-custodial solution. Please welcome Dan Roljic. Let's go, brother. Woohoo!
Thank you. Thank you very much. How would you react if I would just say to you that Mexico passed Bitcoin as legal tender? I thought so. That would be awesome. Well, just for a second, think about something that is like, at this certain point, the biggest problem in your life. I think Bitcoin can solve it for you. But the case is, what Bitcoin really can do at this point is, we can nail remittances, we can nail financial inclusion, the store of value, and of course the self-custody, right? But I'm here to talk about the problems we're facing in the industry for the last 6, 8 years or whatever, or from the beginning. And what I saw that it's still a huge problem, it's the user experience. Like, when I'm explaining about what I'm doing to my mother, she's always so pissed off after like 5 minutes that we stop talking and I'm like, leaving the house and then coming back in 2 hours. This complexity, because we all are geeks over here, and something that's totally understandable to us, but totally not understandable to an average Joe, we really need to lower the bar to actually bring it to mainstream to really understand how Bitcoin works in general. The second problem is the trust, because you have a group of people hyping up things and the group of people, putting it down, pushing it down, and eventually an average Joe, in the end, doesn't really know, can he trust or not trust this? And a friend tells, yeah, you should do it, and the other friends say, oh, that's a scary thing. The third thing is the usability and utility of it, because exactly what we're doing in our company is we try to show the usability, utility of Bitcoin. The regulations is something I would say we don't even have influence to change it, except just to yell in front of the governments and hold with the signs. And what the biggest problem is the probably excessive promotion. Like, I see many people using Bitcoin as an investment tool, and you should invest, and we're gonna pass now this and that, and the adoption is gonna go up and whatsoever. But basically, if you are having a Bitcoinish mentality, it doesn't really matter the price of the Bitcoin, but it matters more the adoption of it and how we can solve problems with it, right? And what is, let's say, the biggest problem we as a payment acceptance company are facing every day? And it's bizarre, right? It's like, many times people come and they see, the sticker and they want to pay, they use the wallet. I will not say which wallet, it's a non-custodial wallet, and for some kind of reason it doesn't work. And even we geeks don't really understand why it didn't work, so we try to explain to the merchant, no, it will work, let me use another wallet, whatever, but it still doesn't work. It's an awkward situation. The second thing is, let's say in Slovenia and Croatia, you can buy gasoline with Bitcoin, right? And when as soon as they enable it, a bunch of Bitcoin people came and want to pay the gasoline. But somebody came and paid it with really low gas. So after 30 minutes sitting over there, because he said, the payment went through and the merchant couldn't see that the money is on his account, the merchant said, the transaction just expired. And he said, I already paid it. It's not in my wallet anymore. He said, you have to wait because I don't see it. This is a really bad customer experience. In the end, he paid with cash and with Bitcoin. Or even more bizarre things. Let's say over here in El Salvador, it's my 6th time over here. And the case where I see a problem, when I come to Starbucks, because we as foreigners, we come to Starbucks, we want to order coffee, and one of the biggest problems is, I want to pay with Bitcoin. And she said, Bitcoin, I know what that is. It's a phone, right? And I'm like, I don't know how you accept it. Probably you have a phone, yeah. So she searched for the phone. Oh, I got the phone. Like, yes, she got the phone. Let's do it. But the battery is dead. Nobody's using it, you know. And okay, just can you charge it? I'm gonna wait. And she searches for 15 minutes to get the charger. She finds the charger, put it in, and then you need to wait for the 3% the phone to shut on, right? So I'm waiting over there for 45 minutes. I'm not kidding. This is a real story. And eventually she says to me, okay, it's turned on. I'm like, yes, thank you very much. I'm already putting out the wallet. And she said, oh, username and password. We're the merchant, you know, we need to. So she started calling around, putting in the username and password. And eventually I get the QR code I want to pay. And I come back to this problem eventually, to this one, and I again then pay in cash. It's happening every day. Well, the worst thing, or one of the worst things, is that the merchants simply don't know. They know that they accept Bitcoin, right? But they don't know, did you pay really or not? So they just say to you, can you do it? I give it, like, I trust you, okay? So you're buying something for $80, for imagine, and he said, did you pay? Yes, I did. Thank you. The worst of all, it's this one. So you come to a store, there is a bunch of Bitcoin stickers in front of, I'm telling you, there's like 50 stickers, Bitcoin accepted here. I come in, I open the door, I'm like the proudest guy ever. I buy for $150 of shit that I don't need. I'm coming to a counter, and over there, and I say, I'm gonna pay with Bitcoin. He's like, Bitcoin, eh? I'm like, you gotta be kidding me, right? So I said, yeah, you know, you have the stickers. You have 50 stickers on the door. He said, no. No Bitcoin here, my friend. And I was like, oh, you gotta be kidding. And there's already 5 guys behind me. And I'm like, you sure? I just came here to work 2 weeks ago. I don't know nothing. I'm like, all right, cool. I give up. Can I return this stuff? Like, and then I'm going with the, you know, putting everything back in the shell. It's happening all over the world. And it's not a joke anymore. We're nailing this problem now for, 6 years. And it's still there. Because the customer experience is simply not on a level that we could reach the mainstream. This is a fact, all right? And so we as a company, of course, like we constantly try to bring the utility to the Bitcoin, especially on the payment acceptance side. Like in Lugano, you can see all our POS devices. Or in Slovenia, you have 2,500 locations really accepting the payments. We manage actually to do it in one device where we accept all the, you know, casually used credit cards and debit cards, and then adding in the same POS the acceptance of Bitcoin. Why? Because then device will always be on. They use it every day. The UI and the UX is the same. So what is really the biggest problem we can save or solve right now? And it's even more bizarre than everything I showed you over here. And it's a sad story, okay? So don't cry, but it's true. So when I came to El Salvador, I came because one thing. If El Salvador fails on adopting Bitcoin in upcoming years, and none of other relevant countries accept Bitcoin as a legal tender, I think we are in a situation that it's worse than before El Salvador accepting Bitcoin. So we're coming from Europe over here to make sure that we don't fail as a community, as individuals, as company, all right? It's not a joke for us. But the real problem we need to nail in El Salvador, it's something else. Around 68% of the people are unbanked. What does that mean? So in our house where we live now, here we have like a lady. She helps us with the cooking and cleaning and all this stuff. It's so cool. I'm so sad we don't have this in Europe. And we are friends, you know, and once we said to her, we would like to go to see where you live. And she took us to her home, and they live in a really, really small apartment, 6 people. And one of the biggest problems she has, she always requested from us to pay her in cash. It's not a secret, like, and we said, all right, you don't have a bank account? And she said, no, I cannot get it. And then we went deeper into this because we saw other generation in the same apartment, and we saw that they don't even have a document, like, you know, an ID or something. And then we started to think, how big is this problem? So if 68% of the people don't have a bank account, it's a much bigger problem than you think. You know why? Because if you don't have a bank account, you can never get old or sick. Because if you don't have a bank account, you don't pay taxes. If you don't pay taxes, you cannot get pension when you're ready to go into, you know, the best years of your life, the final 10. You don't have to work. If you don't get a pension, you need to work every day till the rest of your life and watch out for your health and hope that you have kids who will take care of you. Are you fucking kidding me? This is the real problem. You want to know what is even bigger problem is that these people are storing their money into the drawer and they're exposed to all kind of other risks, you know, robberies and whatsoever. And the worst thing of all is they cannot afford to get a loan for a car, to get a loan to buy an apartment. Well, now we're talking. You know, when we're promoting the mining and all this stuff, like, we're so long in this space, we should promote, like, how we can solve this problem. Solve this problem with Bitcoin. You don't need to do anything. People will do it by themselves. They will push the governments to nail it. But the user experience needs to be equivalent to the IQ 80, not 155 that it's right now in this room, all right? Okay, so we said let's just try to nail the payment infrastructure because we cannot cover the whole package, all right? And we saw these problems in payments, and we started to nail it around it and how to solve it on the long term. Let's say in Lugano, together with Bitfinex, together with the city of Lugano, we started to implement these small POS devices everywhere, and you can pay with Bitcoin on Lightning or USDT on multi-chain or Visa, MasterCard, Amex, Diners, whatever on the same device. You know? Yeah, and you know what is interesting? The interesting thing is it actually works. It works. You will come to Lugano and it will work. If it doesn't work, kick my ass. I'm not kidding, because I'm spending so much time to do and nail this, and also now in El Salvador, please go for it. But in Meta, to make it even more crazy and simpler, we said, let's issue a card that will be hooked to your non-custodial wallet, but it will be EMV compliant. It means compliant with the standards of MasterCard and Visa on every POS device. So you can get a card that is being hooked to a wallet. The wallet should be very simple, and you can start using money even if you don't have a bank account. You know what we want to achieve in El Salvador? That every of these cards that people will get would be also a medical insurance. We would give it over there. Like a basic medical insurance costs $10 per year. Or we could add ID in the back of the card. It's a QR code. It leads you to an ID. And at this certain point, you have a card that you can pay with, you have an ID, and you have a health insurance all in one. You can add to this whatever you want. Microloans, credit scoring, insurances, whatever. Well, so we're here. Like, we just came over here to launch these cards, and I still cannot run it on Bitcoin because I have huge problems with how to set up it in a way that the regulations around the world would not limit me. So I do it with stablecoins. I know it sucks, I know. But it runs through smart contracts and nobody's touching your money. And that's the most important thing for me. And it should be decentralized. So how it actually works, you scan a QR code in the back of the card. The card is totally compliant to how Visa and MasterCard are doing. And by the way, it's the first card in the world that it's compliant with the standards of Visa and MasterCard. That's the real success, because now, for the first time, I'm telling you, MasterCard will come to you as a non-custodial wallet and say, do you want to issue a card on our infrastructure? Hell yeah! Of course, because then we don't need to supply anymore the stupid POS devices. You get it? Awesome. IQ 155. How it simply works like that: you scan it with MetaMask, you hook the card with the MetaMask, the wallet you have. You create a PIN so that if it's a high volume purchase, you input the PIN every time you pay for it. And the whole way how it works, you already know how it works. It's the same as you are paying anything with a card that was issued by the bank. Okay? But at the same time, you also have other options of payment on the same device. All right, so I'm coming to an end, and I'm like, I still have 5 minutes, but I'm not going to use it because I don't have nothing smart to say anymore. But I really like this quote because I cannot say this to my mom, all right? It wouldn't be fair. But when we employ people in our company, we give them a few months that they adopt. And I see, did he download the wallet? Is he watching some podcasts? Does he following some people who are in this space? Does he really believe in Bitcoin? And then eventually, when I see that after 5 times, me approaching them, hey, come on, man, you know, like, you could use Athena ATMs, or you could use Chivo, or you can use us, or who the fuck ever, right? But they're not doing it. I say, I'm so sorry, but I'm not going to waste my time on you, and I'm just, you know, moving forward. So my message to you today is, whatever you do, it should be a concrete cause, a real problem that you want to solve. If you're solving a real problem, you don't need to convince anyone to use your service. Thank you very much.